Ah, yes, the Government of Canada. All the important documents that make us who we are were written in there. The Constitution, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Canada's Food Guide. That's the document that outlines what and exactly how much every Canadian should eat. Now, after 77 years in circulation, we're asking the question, in 2019, is the Canada Food Guide something Canadians really need? At a diner just a few blocks from Parliament Hill, Dr. Yanni Friedhoff says it sure is. He believes the food guide influences us whether we know it or not.
The food guide has a few different roles in Canada. So in our schools, in our hospitals, in publicly funded institutions, our arenas, our municipal buildings, the food guide dictates to some degree what's being served.
Dr. Friedhoff points out that Canada's food guide is taught to doctors, nurses, dietitians, and every single kid who goes to school.
It becomes almost the nutritional consciousness of the country that is disseminated unconsciously over time.
Excuse me? What was that?
And it becomes almost the nutritional consciousness of the country that is disseminated unconsciously over time.
That's pretty high praise for a 6-page pamphlet, even if it is in color. But surprise, surprise, not everyone sees the food guide that way. Meet Aaron Woodrick of the Canadian Taxpayers Federation. Do you have a position on the food guide?
Well, I would question whether we need to spend money on this, right? We've only got so much money to go around. You want to spend it on the most important things. Is a government-specified food eating plan the best use of taxpayer money? Probably not. There used to be no other way to get this kind of information about nutrition and food. Now it's at your fingertips on your smartphone. So we're still doing something we started doing 50, 60 years ago, even though we don't really need to be doing it anymore.
If you heard it referred to as the nutritional consciousness of the country, what do you think of that?
I would say it's the subconsciousness. In other words, I don't think most Canadians even know what's in it. And I think that's probably the case for 99% of Canadians could not tell you what is in the Canada Food Guide.
Challenge accepted.
Do you know what it is?
Let's go find some regular Canadians and find out.
Do you guys know what Canada's Food Guide is?
No, we do not.
You don't know?
No.
Do you know what it is?
No. It's the suggested servings that you should eat of all the different categories of like dairy, meat, fruit, grain.
Do you follow it?
Not at all.
The Canada Food Guide, is that something that you follow?
No.
Have you ever?
No.
Never?
No.
Are you aware of it?
No.
Do you know what Canada's Food Guide is?
I don't know what it is.
You've never seen Canada's Food Guide?
I've seen it, but I've never paid any attention to it.
Canada's Food Guide. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Do you follow it?
No.
How come?
I'm on a seafood diet.
What does that mean?
I see food and I eat it.
I'm pretty sure that's the diet that most of us are on.
It's that consciousness.
Back at the diner, what does Dr. Friedhoff make of our pretty unscientific poll?
I think that many people will deny it has any influence or effect on them whatsoever. And I think that they are mistaken and well-intentioned, and it does in fact matter. You know, Health Canada likes to brag it's the second most requested document from the website behind tax returns.
So no matter what you think, the food guide will affect you.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement because it will influence our purchasing choices. It will influence sales in supermarkets, and it will influence the coverage of different nutritional subjects in the media.
If it really has that kind of influence, no wonder governments keep publishing it. But there's a deeper question here. What was it that Pierre Trudeau famously said?
There's no place for the state in the bedrooms of the nation.
Well, maybe we can rejig that just a little.
Is there a place for the state in the kitchens of the nation?
Not really. No, I think it's education, personal choices. I think it's the responsibility of parents to bring their children up right.
Now, if I'm there in your kitchen and I open your fridge, what do I see?
Oh, you'll see a lot of healthy stuff. My wife's a very good cook and even have kale.
You have kale?
Yeah, I hate kale.
Do you think the government belongs in the fridges of the nation?
I do. I do indeed.
Yeah.
But only to give advice. Nothing beyond that.
Do you think the government belongs in your fridge?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm all for the government being involved in the food guide.
Back at Parliament Hill, I have a sneaking suspicion I know what Aaron Woodrick's going to say.
I don't know that publishing a food guide is going to change people's eating habits. We've had the food guide for more than half a century, and obesity rates are way up, so it hasn't been working very well.
So what should the government do?
I think they should get rid of it.
Get rid of it after 77 years? Can we really do that?
Working.
Dr. Friedhoff warns that without the food guide, there would be nothing to protect us.
It is the responsibility of the government to do its best to provide us with guidance and support to make healthier choices easier. So I'd rather the government be in our fridges than the food industry, right? The food industry's sole job is profit. That's literally their job. And the largest profit drivers for the food industry are cheap ingredients like salt, sugar, and fat, none of which are useful to consume to great excess.
Sometime this year, Canada's new food guide will drop. And word is it will push us to eat more plant-based foods. Like kale. I mean, we know we should, but will we? Nick Purden, CBC News, Ottawa.